So good day everyone. So we are the next group reporting about technology for teaching and learning one. So this is an introductory course that explores basic knowledge, skills, and values in the use of technology in the teaching and learning. So first, let's talk about the ICT national policies that are applicable to the teaching and learning. So first, let's talk about the national policy which is entitled as the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 or the RA or the Republic Act 10175. So it is intended to prevent cybersex, online child pornography, identify theft and spamming, but it also makes libel a cybercrime punishable by up to 12 years in jail. So, cybercrime, also called as computer crime, is the use of computer as an instrument to further illegal ends such as committing fraud, trafficking child pornography, intellectual property violations, stealing identities, or violation of privacy. So the difference between traditional criminal offenses from cybercrime is the use of the computer in committing such offenses. Majorly cybercrime is an attack on the information of individuals, governments, or corporations. So to prevent and to combat cybercrime, the government of the Philippines introduced the Republic Act number 10175 or the Cyber Prevention Act of 2012. So this act was signed by the President of the Philippines, Mr. Benigno Aquino III, on September 12, 2012. So the original goal of this act was to penalize acts like cybersex, child pornography, identify theft, and etc. So let's go to the second national policy entitled Data Privacy Act of 2012 or the Republic Act 10173. So this act protects individuals from unauthorized processing of personal information that is first, private, not publicly available, and second, identifiable, where the identity of the individual is apparent either through a direct attribution or when put together with other available information. So, the Data Privacy Act of 2012, the Philippines passed this Republic Act 10173 or the Data Privacy Act of 2012 to protect the fundamental human right to privacy of communication while ensuring free flow of information to promote innovation and growth. To the state, inherent obligation to ensure that personal information or informations and communication systems in government and in the private sector are secured and protected. So the next national policy is the Safe Spaces Act or the Republic Act 11313. So to address existing gaps and issues in equality, security, and safety of both women and men in both private and public spaces. So the Republic Act 11313 or also known as the Safe Spaces Act or also known as in Tagalog, the Bawal Bastos Law protects the rights of all Filipino citizens against both unwanted and uninvited sexual violations in public spaces, including buildings, schools, and churches, government offices, restaurants and cafes, public washrooms, and many more, as defined under the Section 3. There are many noteworthy learnings I've learned from the SEDS statute, but there are three defecations that grasp the most. First is the law serves its utmost purpose by including all genders to be safeguarded from homophobic remarks or a form of catcalling that expresses hostility towards people who are identified as lesbian, gay, bisexual, queer, pansexual, and another, or the sexual orientation belongs to the LGBTQ LC+, stated under Section 3. Besides serving good through including all genders stated accredited by the law, the statute ordained a higher penance towards gender-based online sexual harassment that gives significance to the possibility of the victim's public humiliation, which may lead to further harm. And lastly, the role of the Committee of the Decorum and Investigation, also known as the CODI, governs the conviction of the statute to give justice for the victims and so as for the offenders to be sanctioned right to the criminal act they did. So the fourth example of national policies is the E-Commerce Act of the Philippines, or the Republic Act 8792. So it is an act providing for the recognition and use of electronic commercial and non-commercial transactions and documents, penalties for unlawful use thereof. So the state recognizes the vital role of information and communications technology, or also known as the ICT, in nation building. So the need to create an information-friendly environment which supports and ensures the availability, diversity, and affordability of ICT products and services. So the primary responsibility of the private sector in contributing investments and services in ICT, the need to develop with appropriate training programs and institutional policy changes. Human resources for the information age, a labor force skilled in the use of ICT, and a population capable of operating and utilizing electronic appliances and computers. It's also obligation to facilitate the transfer and promotion of technology. And it is also ensuring network security, connectivity, and neutrality of technology for the national benefit. And the need to marshal, organize, and deploy national information infrastructures, comprising in both communications network and strategic information services, including their interconnection to the global information networks with the necessary and appropriate legal, financial, diplomatic, and technical framework, systems, and facilities. So the last example of national policy is the Executive Order number 810 series of 2009. So institutionalizing the certification scheme for digital signature and directing the application of digital signatures in e-government services. So all government agencies and instrumentalities providing electronic services to its clients shall require the use of digital signatures in their respective e-government services to ensure confidentiality, authenticity, integrity, and non-repudiation of electronic transactions in the government. So next, let's talk about the safety issues with ICT. So the first safety issues in ICT is the trailing cables. So computer equipment is often connected with lots of cable, power, or network, and etc. So if these cables are laying on the top of the floor, they can cause people to trip over them. So as a solution for these ICT issues is to place cables inside a cable dock or under the carpet or flooring to prevent further accidents. So the next ICT issue is the spilled drinks or foods. If any liquids are spilled on electrical equipment, it can eventually result to damage or an electric shock to the user. So a solution for this issue is to keep food and drinks away from the computer, or you can have some table to put your drinks and food in that part. Next issue on ICT is the heavy objects falling. So many items of computer equipment are very heavy, such as CRT monitors, laser printers, and among others. So these heavy items can cause serious injury if they fall on people. So a solution for this issue is to make sure equipment is placed on strong tables and shelves. Always remember to put those things, heavy objects rather, into the right table or into a strong table. So now let's go on to the uses of ICT policies in the teaching and learning environment. So some common educational applications of ICT includes the following. So first, one laptop per child, tablets, interactive whiteboards, and smart boards. And then next is the e-readers, and then last one is the flip classrooms. So now let's talk about the challenges on using ICT in the teaching and learning environment. So the first one is the digital divide. So when we say digital divide, it is a term that refers to the gap between demographics and regions that have access to modern information and communications technology, also known as the ICT, and those that don't or have restricted access. So this technology can include telephone, television, personal computers, and internet connectivity. So in short, digital divide is those areas who have limited access to technology. So next is let's talk about the minority language group. So when we say minority language group, minority language enjoys a natural but problematic definition. So in the most straightforward sense, a minority language is simply one spoken by less than 50% of the population in a given region, state, or country, meaning that is the language being spoken about half of the totality of the population in a given region, state, or country. So next is the students with different learning styles. So it is also a big challenge for educators or instructors in using ICT because they all know that students have different learning styles and students learn in different ways. So as a challenge for instructors, instructors must select what best strategy suits for that kind of learning or styles of learning. So next is the school with limited technical support. So it is also a big challenge to schools with limited technical support in including ICT into the teaching and learning. It's because if you have a limited access to technology or the technical support, you cannot instruct or you cannot give meaningful ways to students for students to learn by using but by applying ICT into the teaching and learning. And the last challenge is the lack of effective training. And also it is a challenge for educators if they have been into trainings because as we all know in the integration of technology into the teaching and learning environment, an educator or an instructor must be effective enough or having enough training in handling those technologies being implemented into the teaching and learning environment.
So since Ryan Boycer already tackled about the ICT national policies that are applicable to teaching and learning and also the ICT safety issues, we will be proceeding to my topic, which is the media and technologies in various content areas. So I have here a quotation from Alvin Toffler. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So, learn is to gain or acquire knowledge or skill in something by study, experience or being taught, while unlearn is to discard something or you are discarding especially false or outdated kanang information from one's memory. And then relearn is to learn something again. So next is advances in technology have had a profound effect on the way we learn and the way we teach. So this is super true, no? So through machine learning, adaptive kanang programs have been developed that care for the individual's need of the students. So AI or kanang artificial intelligence and machine learning kay mo sad ang usa sa or makapatutor or makapa-develop to teach students kanang sa specific na subject like math or kanang writing. So not only does kanang technology increase engagement It also add variety to lesson for students and increase kanang delivery option for teachers. So, but these tools can also provide fun, more inclusive learning environment and encourage collaboration within the class. So technology gives teacher and learners a chance saving our time to like rewrite notes in the classroom because we can access them anytime and anywhere. So it also more effective for teachers in order to do not waste their time to prepare the notes and jot down the notes on the board. Instead, it gives them more time to explain better. Okay, so let's proceed to the next one. Many adult learners can remember a time when finding information required traveling to the library to search a card catalog and spending countless hours looking through paper-based books and journals. So before, katong wala pa technology, so ang mga students kay moadto jud og kanang library to search palitan to search a specific kanang meaning kung wa sila kabaw ani nga meaning so moadto pa sila library para i-search kung unsay meaning ana nga word. So karon luckily kita kay nanay technology so even naara ta sa balay or bisan asa na places kung nalay internet maka-research or maka-search ra ta og any information that we need. So there are a lot of kanang benefits modern kanang technology, most especially karon. So it ease of access to information, saves time, kanang better communication means, and better kanang learning techniques. So it helps students to learn the best way to access, use quality information and resources. So help them to enhance their study and research skills and explain how to use the latest kind of technologies to enhance their learning. So here are some keywords. So first is the recent, happening or beginning not long ago. So nahitabo siya or kanang nahitabo siya dili pa kaayo dugay. So teaching, something that is taught, the values, ideas, and beliefs that are taught by a person. So teaching meaning kung unsa ang gitudlo sa or unsa ang gi-share nga ideas sa kana nga kanang person or kanang teacher. So pedagogy, it is the method and practice of teaching, especially as an academic subject or theoretical concept. So technology it is the branch of knowledge that deals with the creation and use of technical means and their interrelation with life, society, and environment, drawing upon such subjects as industrial arts, engineering, applied science, and pure science. So technology provides students, again, easy to access information, accelerated learning and fun opportunities to practice what they learn. It enables students to explore new subjects and deepen their understanding of difficult concepts. So teachers have observed an increased frequency of students helping each other when they're using technology in the classroom. So many technology-based tasks involve other aspects, and this lead to situation where students need to seek help from their peer or the teacher. So through technology, students' written and oral communication skills will be enhanced. So the students will be able to construct their own knowledge, a sense of enjoyment will be added to the lesson. So it is really a wonderful resource for the student who can use technology for many things, such as to complete their homework, to communicate with their teachers and peers, to take part in a virtual classes, and to connect with experts in various fields, to learn scientific information and much more. So now let's proceed to the next. So I have here a graphic organizer about evolution of learning, use technology for teaching and learning. So as you can see, sa first na arrow diri, na ay blackboard plus chalk. So kani gigamit jud ni namo, pero until now naa magyapon ni siya, pero sa una nag blackboard plus chalk ra jud mi kay wala mi ka try og kanang television or kanang PowerPoint laptop, wala pa na sa una, mga elementary pa mi. So blackboard ang gigamit namo. And then whiteboard plus marker. Yeah, transparency slides plus overhead projector. PowerPoint presentation, which is current, nga gigamit na to karon. And then web-based learning teaching tool, video conference, e-classroom, wireless technology, and innovative technology. So makita na to ang evolution sa paggamit na to og technology for teaching and learning, from blackboard to karon nga naggamit na ta og kanang mga PowerPoint, laptop, television, video conference. Even though naay pandemic, we still learn using kanang mga technology. So students can collaborate or group projects using technology-based tools such as kanang mga Google Docs, kanang wikis, and ana. So the walls of the classroom are no longer a barrier, as technology enables new ways of learning, communicating, and working collaboratively. So technology has also begun to change the roles of teachers and learners. Next, here are some characteristics of teaching technology. So first is input, process, and output are involved. Next is pupil-teacher, and in-service teachers can have its advantage. And then cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains can be achieved by using it. So later on, I will be discussing the characteristics of the teaching technology. So now let's proceed first to the functions. So here are some advantages of using technology. So first is easy to access information, of course. Yeah, greater interest in learning, increased retention of information, robust information storage, better presentation of information, teaching is made more interactive, knowledge sharing made easy, it can make teaching more effective, and organization of matter can be easily done. So these are the advantages of using technologies. So the use of educational technology has therefore become important for today's learners, because it offers them an opportunity to learn at a much faster pace that they would if they were not using such tools and programs. So, kanang learners who are able to communicate better through technological means will also perform better academically as well as in work setting, because communication skills are very important when you want to get your point across effectively. So, using or ang kanang advantage jud sa technology kay dako kay improvement sa learners. So, kanang today's learners are not only required to learn, but they also need to have fun while doing so. So, educational technology offers students the opportunity to have fun while learning, which will also help them stay motivated and excited about their studies. So next, let's proceed to technology affecting kaning cognitive, affective, and psychomotor skills. So first is cognitive. Technology facilitates learning. It helps in analyzing, and technology also cooperates learning by new ideas. So technology affects the cognitive skills because it inhibits development of verbal skills, the ability to decide on answer, and the skill to analyze logically. So it can help them also to subsequent steps in problem solving. So studying while on the internet can affect how we comprehend this information. Meaning, you are kanang multitasking, being on the internet and studying at the same time. So therefore, our brains is going to become more focused on what we're doing on the internet rather than us studying. So next is affective. So students develop interest in learning. Students can express their feeling to technology. Like for example, if student has not understood the topic, he can tell technological aid to ease learning. So students develop interest in learning. So technology in the classroom helps the students to develop or engage with kind of material they're learning. So from online educational games to immersive virtual reality. So it enables students to become active learners. Next is psychomotor skill. So less motor skills are developed, more psychological skills are developed, provides a real environment with help of multimedia and video, etc., and reduces physical effort, for example, carrying books. So, sa psychomotor is lesser ang skills nga ma-develop, but more ang psychological skills nga ma-develop through the help of kanang multimedia or kanang mga videos nga pwede makitaan sa mga bata. So now, let us proceed to traditional teaching technology. So traditional teaching technology includes both projected and non-projected AVAs. So projected visual aids. So chalkboard, ano siya example sa non-projected visual aids. So chalkboard, flannel, flashcards, posters, charts, and models. So mo na siya mga non-projected visual aids. Sa projected visual aids, kay mo na siya ang overhead projector, mga slide projector, and television. So first, a chalkboard is reusable writing surface on which text or drawings are made with chalk. Chalkboards were originally made of smooth, thin sheets of black or dark gray slate stone. So there is also an advantages of using kanang chalkboard. So, ang chalkboard, if kanang mag-testing ka or magtudlo ka o kanang penmanship, when it comes to teaching students how to write, one of the best ways to learn and practice is on chalkboard. So again, katong pag elementary na mo ni siya ang among gamit kanang chalkboard. But nasa disadvantages ang chalkboard. So the main disadvantage to chalkboard is chalk dust. So it gets all over everything. So you can even breathe it in. So but if you use markers on a whiteboard, you'll breathe in some chemicals which may be even worse. Kung sa chalkboard na siya ka ng mga chalk dust sa kanang whiteboard kay maipos na masimhot ang kanang chemical nga gigamit sa kanang marker. So na jud siya advantage ug napoy disadvantages. So here's an importance of the blackboard. Effective teaching, it is a natural slide. Classroom management, cope with students of different learning abilities. Flexibility, enhances student comprehension skills. Multi-purpose teaching aid, control pace and learning. So these are the importance of the blackboard. So now, let us proceed to projected AVA. So here's an example of projected AVAs. So slide projector. So a slide projector is an optomechanical device for showing photographic slides. Slide projectors were also widely used in educational and other institutional settings. Slides were projected with the help of projector in a closed dark room on a screen. So a projected AVA's classmates are pictures shown upon the screen by the use of certain type of machines. So ang kaning slide projector is one of the example of projected AVAs. So another example is kanang television, kanang computer, kanang film projector, internet, o LCD. Mo na siya yung mga example of projected AVAs. And now, let's proceed to the recent teaching technologies. Today, its great impact has started to control the way students learn and collaborate with their teachers. The benefits of using technology also include the improvement of learners' mental and physical health. By using these tools, students are able to enhance their learning and their cognitive skills, which in turn help them improve their academic performance as well as their physical health. These are some examples of recent teaching technologies. First, we have here video conferencing. Video conferencing or video teleconferencing is the synchronous two-way connection of two or more locations through audio and video equipments. Remote community, long-term care facility, or from a patient's home, any person can communicate with a health professional. Enhanced curriculum with virtual field trips. Being expert to the school virtually, connect classrooms in different countries and expand students' worldview, record and archive sessions for future playback. Next, we have here computers, laptops, MacBook. But the usual that we've always seen are only computers and laptops. Computers, laptops, MacBooks that we use to view, store, send, and receive information not only with presenting lessons but also with management and organization. Computer will be used for preparing lesson plans, completing gradebook, checking email, preparing letters, and etc. The computer also serves as the main connector to all of your other technology. So in our previous years, we've experienced pandemic. That's why we can't go to school, but luckily with the help of these technologies, we can have classes through online. Distance education is defined as planned learning that occurs in different places from teaching, requiring real-time or synchronous or delayed asynchronous interactive technology and a needing a course design supportive of students. This is according to Scofflery, Miner, and Alperin 2003. So being able to study from the comfort of one's own home makes the learning process less daunting. And here are the merits of distance education. First, providing efficient training for target groups, expanding the capacity for education in new subject and areas, developing multiple competencies through recurrent and continuing education, and lastly, improving the quality of existing educational services. The top benefit of distance is its flexibility. Students can choose when, where, and how they learn by selecting the time, place, and medium for their education. And here are also the demerits of distance education. The learner is usually isolated from the tutor and other students. And also the distance learner has difficulties having access to learn. So, lack of physical social interaction that is found in a typical traditional classroom. Students can only engage and share opinions through virtual means in chat rooms but are not able to physically interact with each other. It does not feel in all the types of learner. And now, let's proceed to the approaches of distance education. First, we have here synchronous approach. Live lectures are delivered with help of technologies. So, in synchronous learning, students can ask questions in real time. Students feel a greater sense of community and connection to their peers when they all learn together, and students become more engaged in their learning. And for the second approach, we have the asynchronous approach. So recorded videos, print materials, etc. are used. So this gives you more time to review concepts, makes content more digestible, and expands your network by providing content to move participants. Now we have here internet. So there are two equalizers in life, the internet and education. That's according to John Chambers, which means that together they will provide future generations of workers greater opportunities. E-learning will play a big part in providing global access to education opportunities over networks that were previously not possible, ultimately creating a greater standard of living. The Internet, in simple terms, is a network of the interlinked computer networking worldwide, which is accessible to the general public. The Internet is recognized as an important tool in education. It is widely used to facilitate studying and help communication between teachers and students. It is also increasingly becoming the basis of education in forms such as distance learning. Now we have here email. Teachers and students worldwide are beginning to use this ability to talk to each other. Emailing back and forth with another classroom also provides excellent opportunities for students to practice writing skills for a real life purpose, which means that look, which means that emails are used for the purpose of communication, such as communicating with instructors and professors and keeping in touch with friends. Here are the advantages of email. It is easy to send information in long distances. Health education can be given post-discharge and it is asynchronous. And also, here are the advantages of email. Requires good internet connection. Electronic mail lacks context. It is without cues like facial expressions, voice, tone, and etc. And lastly, email messages can create violation of privacy for both nurse and clients. Next, we have World Wide Web or WWW. It is an open source information space where documents and other web resources are identified by URLs interlinked by hypertext links and can be accessed via internet. The use of World Wide Web as an instructional tool is gaining momentum. The invention of the World Wide Web made the internet accessible to everyone. It connects people who live in different parts of the world through social networks, websites, blogs, and much more. E-learning or electronic learning. E-learning is use of technology-based tools and processes to provide for customized learning anytime or anywhere. Electronic learning is a type of education where the medium of instruction is computer technology. E-learning helps students to create and communicate new ideas. You get the chance to uplift your skills and gain knowledge apart from school education. So here are the advantages of e-learning. First, less cost, fast speed, makes class interesting and easy to search topics. And for the disadvantages, learning online is a solo act. Learner feel alone. Eye strain, bad posture, and other physical problems may affect learner. Next, we have here PowerPoint. PowerPoint, which is commonly used now for educational presentation, has a selection of transitions as a feature, all of which are borrowed from film and television. Editing techniques, character, animation within the frame, and overall dramatic structure are things that are taken from film and television in particular for use in educational computers application. PowerPoint allow presenters to translate complex ideas, facts, or figures into easily digestible visuals. Next example is LCD projectors. LCD projector is a type of video projector for displaying video images or computer data on a screen or other flat surface. LCD means liquid crystal display. Multimedia projectors, which are the compact devices that project images in high resolution, are commonplace in many of today's classrooms. LCD projectors allow images to be projected in a crystal
clear format. This means that images be seen by all the students in a lecture, theater, or classroom, no matter the size of the classroom. Mobiles, tablets, and iPads. It is almost impossible to imagine being without a cell phone or using iPad as a digital tool. So, mobile made communication easier as just by pressing some keys on mobile, we can contact our friends, family members, colleagues, and others at any time or anywhere. So here are the advantages of mobiles. It is relatively inexpensive. It can be operated by someone with minimal medical knowledge because state messages contain substance of content. And lastly, video calls can be made to educate or transfer message. So for the last example, we have here educational tools or teaching tools. Educational tools include various social networking sites and apps which can increase and upgrade our knowledge. This includes Facebook, YouTube, and many more.
So now let's move on to the theory application on the integration of technology in the teaching and learning. So the framework being applied in this course is the TPAC framework. So it is an effective technology integration for teaching specific content or subject matter which requires understanding and negotiating the relationship between these three components. Namely, first is technology, second is pedagogy, and third is content. So when we talk about pedagogy, it is the method or practice of teaching, especially as an academic subject or theoretical concept. So it highlights complex relationship that exists between content, pedagogy, and technology, knowledge areas, and may be a useful organizational structure for defining what it is that students, teachers need to know to integrate technology effectively. So now I have here a diagram, for example, the representation of the TPAC or the technological pedagogical content knowledge. So it is represented by different concepts. So the first concept under the TPAC is the technological knowledge or the TK. And the second one is the pedagogical knowledge or the PK. And the third one is the content knowledge or the CK. And their intersections are being represented in this diagram. So as you can see, the intersections between technological knowledge or the TK and content knowledge is the technological content knowledge or the TCK with regards to technology and content being put together. And for the intersection of the TK and PK or the technological knowledge and pedagogical knowledge is the technological pedagogical knowledge or the TPK. So it is a combination of the integration of the different methods or practice of teaching with regards to the technology. And for the next intersection between pedagogical knowledge and the content knowledge, which is called as the pedagogical content knowledge. So it is a combination of the content being instructed into the teaching and learning environment as well as the method of teaching. And for the intersection of all the three circles, it is the TPAC already. So now, first, let's talk about the technology knowledge or the TK. So TK or the technology knowledge refers to an understanding of the way that technologies are used in a specific content or domain. So technology knowledge, it is a person's understanding of the function and operation of the current available technology and applications on that technology, for example. Excuse me. An understanding of how to operate a tablet, downloading an app, and share a screenshot of something made in that app. So next one is the content knowledge or the CK. So when we talk about CK, so it is defined as a thorough grounding in college level subject matter or command of the subject as what American Council on Education 1999 have stated. So content knowledge is a term refers to the body of knowledge and information that teachers teach and that students are expected to learn in a given subject or content area, such as English language arts, mathematics, science, or social studies. So next, let's go on to the pedagogical knowledge. So the pedagogical knowledge includes generic knowledge about how students learn, teaching approaches, methods of assessment, and knowledge of different theories about learning. So in pedagogical knowledge, it refers to the specialized knowledge of teachers for creating effective teaching and learning environments for all students. So that's how the TK, CK, and PK are being defined. So now, let's talk about the pedagogical content knowledge or the PCK. So the pedagogical content knowledge is knowledge about how to combine pedagogy and content effectively. So in pedagogical content knowledge is a special combination of content and pedagogy that is uniquely constructed by teachers and thus is the special form of an educator's professional knowing and understanding. So pedagogical content knowledge is also known as a craft knowledge. So that's for the PCK. And next, let's talk about the technological content knowledge or the TCK. So the technological content knowledge refers to knowledge about how technology may be used to provide new ways of teaching. So the technological content knowledge is the knowledge of how to use technology within a specific content area. Knowing how to use a spreadsheet provides an example of how to analyze a set of data patterns, or knowing how to use fraction bars to show proportional relationship. So that's for the TCK. And now, let's talk about the technological pedagogical knowledge or the TPK. So the technological pedagogical knowledge refers to the affordances and constraints of technology as an enabler of different teaching approaches. So the technological pedagogical knowledge, this describes teachers' understanding of how particular technologies can change both the teaching and learning experiences by introducing new pedagogical affordances and constraints. So that's for the TPK or the technological pedagogical knowledge. So now the last one, let's talk about the TPAC itself or the technological pedagogical content knowledge. So the technological pedagogical content knowledge refers to the knowledge and understanding of the interplay between CK or the content knowledge, the PK or the pedagogical knowledge, and the TK or the technological knowledge when using technology for teaching and learning. So the TPAC or the technological pedagogical content knowledge is an understanding that emerges from interactions among content, pedagogy, and technology knowledge. So the underlying truly meaningfully and deeply skilled teaching with technology, TPAC is different from knowledge of all three concepts individually. Instead, TPAC is the basis of the effective teaching with technology, requiring an understanding of the representation of concepts using technologies to pedagogically execute the techniques being used that uses technologies in constructive ways to teach content. Knowledge of what makes concepts difficult or easy to understand and how technology can help redress some of the problems that students face. Knowledge of students' prior knowledge and theories of epistemology and knowledge of how technologies can be used to build on existing knowledge, to develop new epistemologies or strengthen old ones. So that's for the TPAC or the technological pedagogical content knowledge. So now I have here a TPAC model which has examples. So as the concept being presented a while ago into the diagram, so karon is nana siya mga examples. So first is the technological knowledge. Under the technological knowledge are the different technologies, namely laptop, PC, MacBooks, iPads, mobiles, Googles, social networks, internet, tools like PPT and PDF, and ebook apps. So that's for the technological knowledge or the knowledge of the different technologies. And next is the content knowledge. So in the content knowledge, under the examples of content knowledge is the content related to topic. For example, the HIV or AIDS. So another examples nga under sa content knowledge are the researches related to HIV and AIDS. And as for the next knowledge, which is the pedagogical knowledge, examples under the pedagogical knowledge or the PK are the instruction of classes on how to use laptop, PC, iPads, internet for teaching or learning, and also instruction for teachers regarding use of recent technology. So that is for the pedagogical knowledge. That's the example under with it. Next is the intersection between technological knowledge and pedagogical knowledge, which is the technological pedagogical knowledge. So the example under with it are the use of websites, use of technology tools, and the use of teleconferencing. So remember that the TPK or the technological pedagogical knowledge is the knowledge on how to use this specific knowledge being presented into the um, being given into the instruction. Next is the intersection between technological knowledge and content knowledge. So that is for the technological content knowledge. So the examples under with it are the use of video conferencing, e-learning, m-learning, and smart classes. So in the technological content knowledge it is the knowledge wherein you use technology into delivering the content. So that's for the TCK or the technological content knowledge. And as for the intersection between pedagogical knowledge and content knowledge is the example under with it are instruction on avoiding plagiarism for student, and also instruction for identifying plagiarism also for teachers. So that's for the intersection of the pedagogical knowledge and content knowledge, which is the pedagogical content knowledge. And as for the TPAC itself, or the intersection between the TK or the technological knowledge, the pedagogical knowledge, and the content knowledge, which is called as the technological pedagogical content knowledge, are the effective teaching and learning, and also the use of variety of media to enhance teaching and learning. So alright, for the conclusion with the report about the technology for teaching and learning one. So teaching is an essential part of educational special function, is to impart knowledge, develop understanding, and skills. So in today's world, technology is a major part of our lives. While the generation of our grandparents had to learn to use computers, notebooks, iPads, and iPods as adults, students now entering schools are already familiar with this technology. So students nowadays are already knowledgeable of the different technologies. That's why in the integration of technology into the teaching and learning, it is very important, because as technology being part of their lives, they can easily grasp, or they can easily access to whatever information they want to get, or they can easily understood the topics being presented by the educator or instructor. So that's for our report on the technology for teaching and learning one. Thank you.